CEO Interview is the program for us to invite senior execs from the companies with great growth potential. The talk presents the opportunity for the audience to get the direct information and updates from such companies up close and personal. Are you ready? Let's go! Today, we're very excited to have a company CEO of Ideanomics, the company that focuses on the new economy, to come here and speak with us today. The CEO is Alf Poor. How are you doing, Alf, today?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
Pretty good, yeah. So I think it's noon time for you, and it's morning time for me here in Vancouver, and you're in noon time in New York. So I would like to start off by just, you can give us a quick, exciting introduction. Say what's so exciting about Ideanomics here in 2020 and this year?
Yeah, so 2020 is going to be an exciting year for Ideanomics. We are focused on the electric vehicle space and the enablement of commercial fleet operators to move them over from fossil fuels into electric vehicles. So we think this is going to be an exciting time for us. We're beginning our efforts in China. China is legislation driven at this time to move over into EV. And as recently as yesterday, this morning our time, some very important news came out, which was talking about the stimulus package, having some infrastructure investment that would be further good news for the EV industry.
Okay, let's focus a bit on the Mobile Energy Global, the MEG. And EV has been progressing very well in China, in particular recently in Qingdao, your developments. Can you tell us a bit more about it, or why is Qingdao?
Yeah, Qingdao is important for us strategically. It's a port city, which is always very good for automotive trade, as well as the fact that it's a coastal city. So, you know, it's just across the water from Korea and Japan as well. So it sees a lot of inbound investment from those two countries. So when we looked around China and said, okay, where would be the best place for us to put kind of our hub for our EV activities? You know, we met with a number of the provinces, and the team in Qingdao in Shandong province was very impressive. And the facilities that they made available to us, as well as the strategic positioning of Qingdao, made it a very easy decision.
So I believe MEG is also active in other regions in China. Can you elaborate a bit about the details on other regions in China too?
Yeah, so our main hub will be, administrative offices will be in Qingdao, but we're active wherever there's EV activity typically. Some very important provinces to us are Yunnan, Inner Mongolia, but typically wherever there's fleet operators, which across China, there's many in every province, it's possible for us to have activity. So, you know, in general, we're very, very pleased to be active in China, but some specific provinces such as Inner Mongolia that are very important to us, as well as obviously Shandong and Qingdao. Inner Mongolia is important because it's a natural resource rich province, and it's resisted allowing a lot of mining companies and others in because mining companies bring heavy diesel trucks with them, which pollute, you know, that beautiful environment in Inner Mongolia. So moving over from diesel trucks to EV gives assurances to the government in Inner Mongolia that the mining can be done in the cleanest possible manner. And that's good for the mining companies, it's good for commodities and resources in general, and it's very good news for the EV industry.
Oh, that's pretty good to hear. So China, we know, has been steadily reopening its economy compared to other countries. Other countries still need some more time to contain the COVID-19. So do you think it will benefit your business more compared to other of your peers in the US markets?
Yeah, there's a couple of reasons why I think so. I mean, China was very quick to take the measures it took. It's also come out the other side of it, whereas I think the rest of the world, particularly Europe and North America, are a couple of months behind what happened with COVID-19 in China and Asia. That means obviously that life's getting back to normal in China, which is good news for us. But also the fact that you know, the government was able to put a very robust stimulus package, about 24 trillion renminbi in place. And in America, where we have a election year, you're going to see a lot of the stimulus packages have a very political slant to them. China was able to use the stimulus for more strategic reasons, which means a lot of investment in infrastructure, particularly in clean energy and EV. So that's been very good news for us as well as anybody else in the EV kind of system.
So you also recently announced that CATL will be supplying the superchargers for your Nanjing pilot with PetroChina. Can you tell us a bit about this pilot plan, how this fit into your MEG business model?
Yeah, so the charging infrastructure, obviously, it's a big part of the EV ecosystem. For us, it's really part of our end goal. Initially, we got into EV because we saw a tremendous opportunity, okay, which is the shift in consumption of energy away from gasoline and diesel and into electric. This is going to be very meaningful. The gasoline and diesel economy, powering vehicles and industry is absolutely huge. It's one of the largest parts of the global economy. So as it shifts over into electric, anyone who can play a role there, which MEG is hoping to do, is going to be in a very good position to capture, activity in what, like I said, is one of the world's largest parts of the economy. So for us, it's really our long-term goal here was always to capture an interest in the recurring revenue from EV charging. So the financial services, leasing, and procurement services we offer today, those are really a means to an end to make it easy for the fleet operators to move from gasoline and diesel over to EV. And when they move over to EV, they start using charging services. And that's really what we're after making money from. So the deal we did in late 2019 with PetroChina is a very, very interesting one. And we've held back a little bit from starting the pilot there because we've been seeing such a rapid development in the charging station technology. So last thing you want to do is start a pilot program with a big company like PetroChina using yesterday's technology. So we've taken a look at CATL, who are an amazing partner of ours, who are very, very forward thinking and are very forward looking technology in EV and battery tech. And they've been able to come up with what has been the most impressive charging apparatus so far. So I'm very pleased to get that underway. It starts in Nanjing, which is a city roughly the size of New York. So it's going to be a very meaningful pilot for the company.
Yeah, I believe most of our audience will understand the importance of this because CATL is such a major company in the battery technology in China. Yeah, so may I like to, because you are also very active in other regions besides China, you have a lot of activity in China, but how about the rest of the world? Maybe you can elaborate a bit on your global operations too?
Yeah, sure. So China is obviously legislation driven. So that was our first place to start. Obviously the size and scale of it is very attractive as well because it's such a large economy, second only to the US. But we've also made some other strategic investments in EV. We acquired 51% of electric vehicle manufacturer in Malaysia called Treelectric. And that's a really interesting proposition because what we plan to do is bring those best of breed Chinese partners, and China is way ahead of the rest of the world in EV, particularly in commercial EV. Tesla is probably the leader in EV passenger cars at this time. But in terms of commercial EV, the partners in China dwarf what's happening in the rest of the world. So we want to bring those commercial EV partners into Malaysia to really help Treelectric grow as a business and help it expand out across the region. And then as we start to do that through the South Asia region, we'll start bringing it to the Middle East, Europe, and America as well.
So what do you think why investors should be paying attention to Ideanomics, IDEX right now?
I think this is a good question. We believe we're well placed to ensure growth this year, despite the COVID-19 outbreak. And investors looking for high-value growth stocks should be looking at companies such as Ideanomics that are pursuing market segments where disruption should be minimized by any economic downturn.
Yeah, so thank you for speaking with me today, Alf. So I'm looking forward to talking to you next time again, Alf.
Great, thank you very much. My pleasure.
Bye.
Thank you.